Quiet in the studio. Come on. Okay, that's better.
Have we started or what?
We are. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's it. You did it again, didn't you? You had to do it, didn't you? You had to do it. Quiet in the studio. Here we go. And again, will you shut up?
Yeah, this is longer than Starmer's speech.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ab Fab, a.k.a. Jonathan Starkey, your favorite digital pub landlord of that wonderful digital pub called Cheshire Matters. And on the shut up. I won't tolerate anything. There'll be a mute in milliseconds.
I won't tolerate anything. I won't tolerate this. I won't tolerate
Right, that's it. That's it. Muted. You don't even get to say hello. Say hello to Statsman. All right. Good evening, Mark Hartley. Go ahead.
Oh, hello. How are we? Oh, big hello to all our lovely listeners as well.
Indeed.
Hope they're all doing all right.
All right. And also to the Gazelle, that nimble figure. Say hello, Trevor Nicholls.
Good evening, everybody, and everybody at the Labour conference. Good evening.
At the Labour conference. All right, okay. Steve, you can say hello. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening, everybody.
Muted. There you go. Right, that's
Clearly
it.
things have not changed.
No. You're back. You're back.
I'm just
muted. That's the second mute of the evening.
I don't really care. I'm just glad to be here and glad to be the usual irritant.
Indeed. All right, okay. Well, let's kick off straight away with the roundup. And SNP infighting rages as Rutherglen by-election disaster. Obviously, Hamza Yusuf has been blamed for that failure in Rutherglen. What do you think about that one?
Lovely. Sign of the times to come.
Indeed. Well, they are saying that it's the beginning of the SNP downfall. There you go.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Right, what about this one? Scottish Isles with 19th century 3-bedroom house are for sale. So if you want to go buy an island for $1.5 million, have you got $1.5 million, anybody?
Yeah.
I could buy 3, actually.
Sure.
I bought them all, so I've bought them all for a reason.
Okay, all right.
I'm sending people.
Sending people what?
To the islands.
Who are you sending? Oh, please send the Raven.
Oh yeah, he's going over first. He's taking all the politicians with him.
And there is no Wi-Fi, so that's it. You're dead, Raven. You're dead. Bye.
Oh.
He just must have nightmares about me. I must be permanently affixed in his mind.
No.
Permanent torment.
No, you're gone. No Wi-Fi. That's it. BBC axes Top Gear after 46 years following Flintoff's horror crash. That's it. Top Gear is finished. They're looking, all the producers of Top Gear are now looking for other work and considering action over loss of earnings amid reports the show is going to be axed. Well, it has been axed. How about
I
that?
think we should have something more interesting anyway now. I think we should replace Top Gear, all about cars and stuff, with Top Bicycle. We should have a bicycle program every week, cycling program. That'd be great.
There's going to be some massive, massive crashes, aren't there, on bicycles? Oh, look, he stopped. He braked. That's
You'd be
exciting.
surprised how fast you can go on a bike, actually.
Oh, yeah. It's just like you're walking football.
Don't you knock walking footballs? A lot of people enjoy that. It's very good.
I find Sabutio more exciting and faster. I can assure you.
Anyway, I forgot, due to the fact I was slightly absent last week.
Slightly absent? You weren't here and it was great.
Well, that's what I mean, slightly absent. I wasn't here. So I just thought I missed the opportunity to celebrate last week, which was pretty relevant to you, landlord, actually. It was International Older Persons Week.
What?
last week.
You cheeky young devil, you. Talking like
I
that.
think I'll be having a word with the producers anyway, because I'll be starting up a program called Top Beer.
Top
Called
beer.
what?
Hey, good
Top
idea.
beer.
Top Beer.
Top beer, huh?
Yeah, we like that.
That sounds
Yeah.
all right, doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, Andrew Neil, very, very intelligent reporter. Everywhere, there's a growing revolt against net zero. How about that one?
Yeah, I think it's had its day really in terms of these targets, unacceptable targets and unachievable targets by and large. You know, you look into it and the science of it. It's just most people are interpreting this as a means to simply collect money.
I have to say, I was sat outside a public house on an evening with somebody that we all know. We all know him as Ming the Merciless, still pushing his Remainer politics, I have to say. All right, but I was with Ming, and it was a beautiful evening. I mean, it was warm. I mean, can anybody believe the warmth?
I can't believe
You're having a
we
rather
didn't get
sort
invited.
of.
Hey,
Me too. But
right,
also,
mute. Go ahead, Statsman.
I said I can't believe we didn't get invited. Where was the invite?
well, actually, I'm not bothered I wasn't invited. He's having a romantic evening drink with
Talking about net
a
zero.
Remainer.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a weird scenario for me, really, to be honest with you. So
Talking about recycling.
Well, in the words of Reforms leader Richard Tice, the only net zero we want is net zero illegal immigration.
Indeed.
No, minus net zero. Negative net zero.
Tax, we want get rid of tax. No
What about
tax
this
on
one?
the first 20 grand.
From the Party Conference of Labour, Labour will make it easier for people to change their gender. Oh. Isn't that
Still
right,
the same.
Miss Budweiser 2022, Raven?
Still the same sex, though, so.
Oh,
They
yes.
just never, ever learn.
Well, this is after Rishi Sunak declares a woman is a woman and a man is a man. How about that?
Well, a woman is actually an adult female.
Correct.
The man is obviously an adult male.
Well, it's a huge ideological mindset that's kept by the elite, isn't it? You know, because they're not really touched by any of this. They can just do whatever the hell they want, and they just get away with it.
Well, a man basically's got dangly bits and a woman ain't.
Well, some women have.
All right, I'll say bottom dangly bits.
All right. How about this one? The last of the roundup. HS2 bought land owned by family for 900 years, days before HS2 was scrapped. So the land owned by the same family since the 12th century was bought up by HS2 just days before Rishi Sunak scrapped the rail project's northern leg, as compulsory purchases continued despite mounting speculation over the scheme being axed. How about that?
Through his butt.
Well, you know this whole thing over HS2? Go ahead, Mark.
Did I just hear compulsory purchases?
Correct.
Yeah.
So you have to sell them your property?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. It's like communism all over again, isn't it?
Yep.
I'm sorry, but once you've bought a house, you shouldn't be having to sell it to anyone unless you choose to do such.
That's in common law. I agree with you.
Oh, we can change that.
Well, I don't know whether anything's going to be reversed, but that land was sold. Go ahead, Trevor.
Drag me kicking and screaming from my land.
On the Warrington leg of the western road that they're building.
What is this? Is this round the outskirts of the town of Warrenation Street?
Yeah, it's not going to go ahead. But anyway, they've told my brother that they're compulsory purchasing his business, so they're going to wipe it out.
Indeed.
The western leg, and he's got no say so in it. Well, they just say we value it. We give you what they get about 10 valuations on it, which are all
lower.
government geared anyway, so you're not going to get anything.
No, this is unacceptable. How long has he had this business? A long time. He's probably built this up over his life, been successful, and they're just going to come and take it away.
He's old. He's had it since he
tell him to fight it, man. Kicking and screaming.
Kicking and screaming.
No, they're taking all he's built a brand new MOT centre out at the back, and he's just going to wipe that out and build this flyover straight through it.
Do you know how expensive it is just to put those lifts in for the cars? It's like really, really expensive.
Oh, yeah. Everything's expensive.
You know what they do, though? They build houses around these roads, too, so double whammy.
Indeed.
It's where they lose their business and houses. The imports get theirs.
Oh.
Hey, isn't it? What a system.
Well. Right. Okay. Well, let's go on to the national. Moving on very quickly. And the national is all about the Labour Party conference. Anybody got any news on that one?
I've got loads to go at here.
Oh, go ahead.
If you just have to bear with me. Stammer, we had 1 hour of nothing. I actually got time to watch it, which I don't normally bother with, but I did just purely for tonight.
Did you see the protester come on with the sparkling glitter?
Yeah, and thingy. Yeah, that was,
before you carry on, it's funny that one because you can't polish its head, but you can sprinkle it in glitter. Continue.
He was just stop oil, was it? I believe.
Yeah.
Stop oil fella. Anyway, we had 1 hour of nothing. We had no HS2. No ULEZ, LTNs, interest rates, nothing about illegal immigration, cashless society, transgender woke. But Jonathan just corrected me on that one, that he did mention transgender woke, but not in his actual speech. The hotels are full, nothing about that. Homeless veterans, knife crime, surveillance and face recognition, nothing about that. Pay-per-mile driving, which is probably how they're going to pay for all these promises that they make.
Mm-hmm.
He mentioned the scourge of our country once, which was food banks. He just crossed that area and said nothing. And nothing whatsoever about our latest disgrace in this country, baby banks.
Yeah.
Nothing about the cost of net zero. It was mainly the same old mantra. NHS, house building. And by the way, the Labour Party have got the worst record ever on house building. Workers' rights, yet they're flooding the working market with migrants.
But they are talking that they are the party of builders.
Well,
cowboys.
It's just nothing, is it? They've got the flooding the market with migrants, illegal migrants at that, to suppress wages, which was Tony Blair's Labour. Remember that when he said there's only 1,300 going to come across from the EU? That was in 1997 when they opened the floodgates, and
we've got nearly 130,000 now.
Yeah. It's 4 million that's crossing. 4 million. Now, we're going to sort out the police, he said. Now, not one comment where the money's coming from. And about the NHS, there's massive alarm bells ringing there for me. He said reform is needed. I agree with that. He said reform is needed. We all know what that means. That's privatisation. That's what he's going to do. It was an hour of everything that everybody wanted to hear. Oh, and it was a 10-year plan, so that's all free beer tomorrow. Give me 10 years. So it's just basically getting himself in for 2 terms to prop up his pension, which I've mentioned many a times via Andy Carter.
Right, okay. Well, Greg Hands, the Conservative Party chair, in response to the speech, said, once again, Sir Keir Starmer showed he would take the easy way out on Britain's long-term challenges. On 2 of the biggest issues facing the country, Labour has nothing to say. Just as Rachel Reeves failed to mention inflation once in her speech. Now, that's the truth. She didn't mention inflation at all and how she was going to tackle it.
Damn, didn't.
No. Well, he failed to say anything about how he would tackle even illegal immigration. Instead, he committed Labour to more borrowing, which would increase inflation, and reversing Rishi Sunak's more proportionate approach to net zero, forcing millions of families to pay up to $15,000 to upgrade their homes. Now, that's what this guy is saying. Go ahead, Mark.
I think you used to have covered most of my points. I've been outstated today.
I'm sorry about that, sir.
Yeah, there's going to be more inflation, isn't it?
Yeah.
More net zero garbage, more debt. Again, short-term political decision-making. And that's what's landed us in trouble for the last 30 years. And exactly what Drippy Rishi said was the problem last week. I think Trevor mentioned homes. Yeah, what they're saying, they're going to build 1.5 million a year, is it?
Yeah.
I'm not being funny, but they're struggling. The Tories are struggling to build 250,000 now. This, again, is fantasy land. And these new towns are on about building. Who are they going to be for? The English.
Yeah.
Yeah, something tells me they're not.
No.
So what I was a little disappointed about, there's a group of independent school heads had a little private reception there, and they invited 40 Labour MPs. And they were going to discuss, I think it was the 20% VAT school fees. None of them turned up. So they can bang on about education, but they're not interested, are they? But I think this whole thing was overshadowed by what's going on in Israel, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
And these divvies jumping on the stage.
Well, we have to say that what's going on in Israel is serious because those guys are now going in. They're going to invade Gaza. So it is going to have an effect on everything globally. Just a quick point to say, do you think that other countries like Iran and the surrounding countries are going to take advantage of that? Just a quickie. Maybe. Well,
they'll be funding it in the background, but I'm not sure they're going to physically get involved. So, some of them, I don't know. Some of the ones nearer might.
Did anybody see the Palestinian sympathists actually at the Labour Party conference? Did you see them?
There's an MP standing there with flags. That Long Bailey was one of them, and
I couldn't believe it. After what's gone on, it's just unbelievable. It was just a terrible, terrible thing. Go on, Trevor. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, my only opinion on this, I mean, once Israel does go into there, we know for a fact that inflation will go up because of the war. Diesel will go up because of the war.
Already has, yeah.
Cost of living will go up because of the war. I trade, as you know, this crude oil on a demo thingy model.
You capitalist, you.
Yeah, I do, and it just astounds me. I'm sick of it. When it goes up, it's been running at $60 for months and months and months. And when it goes up to $65, your diesel and your petrol immediately goes up. Yeah. And when it's gone up to $90 and it goes up and up and up and up, and then it dropped back to 60, nothing. You don't get any rebate. So watch this space. Wait for the next figures to come out on the next quarter when they all make another 8 billion in 3 months. Yep. It's absolutely, this country is an absolute dump. It's a crap hole. That's all it is.
Well, in commercial terms, because there are people making a lot of money out of geopolitical problems.
Of course, yeah.
And that's what you're saying.
And they'll use this Israel exactly the same.
Well, okay. All right. We see that. And so our verdict of Starmer at the Labour Party conference at the moment. Steve, go ahead.
I just want to say, really, there's not a great deal of difference between, apart from one or two small policies for the usual left lunacy. There's not a great deal of difference in terms of the eco policies, housing sort of announcements and various other fantasyland policies between Labour and the Conservatives. I don't really understand why people think there's any difference between the two.
Well, the Conservatives are actually more Labour than Labour in certain respects, and Labour are more Conservative. At the moment, Labour are about 15 points ahead of the Conservatives.
That'll drop nearer the time, and then one of them will come out with some wizardry promise right near the time and claim victory, as they usually do, with some kind of big carrot they're going to dangle to the public, and it's going to save the world. And it's just a nonsense. I'm tired of this whole thing. These party conferences are just a shambles and a joke now, to be quite honest.
Does anybody think the actual argument is going to be between Starmer and Sunak, or Labour and Conservative? What do you think?
My experience when I'm campaigning for elections is a bit of a mixture, to be honest. People have got their own reasons why they vote. I heard people saying, I'll never vote Tory, and then I'm not voting Labour because I don't like Starmer. I just wish people had based their decisions on political issues and not vote for any of the donkeys, to be honest. Because we're stuck in this cycle of failure again, aren't we? Which everyone
this is what I'm saying.
The thing is, Steve, they admit it as well to you, and then they used to go, "Oh, I'm going to carry on doing the same thing," and embrace the failure. And I just really don't understand how to change that mindset.
You're going to change the country is by changing the voting system.
Well, I think you could say that the Conservatives are on their final warning. That's the truth. They're on their final warning. And I don't think, this is just my feel, I don't think they're going to win this argument with Labour. I think Labour are going to get in at the next round as soon as it comes up, because the people are fed up. I mean, why would you trust the people who are actually responsible for the problems of the past 13 years to actually
you could say that over the past 60, 70 years. It's a cycle that Marx said numerous times, and so have I.
Well, for the past 13 years, the Conservatives have been in. So they are responsible for the woes that we're experiencing now. So why would you trust them to actually fix the problems? Go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah, you don't trust them. Simple as that. And like you say, there is going to be a change. It's not going to be seismic, I don't think, like they keep saying it will be.
No.
But the point is, Labour will get in. And we'll just go on and on and on. How are they going to pay for this? I'll tell you how they're going to pay for it. They're going to bring in more ULEZ. They're going to bring in more LTNs.
More
they're going to price you. They're going to price you per mile. And they're going to say, we have to do this to give you what you want.
And they're going to put your council tax up and up and up and up.
Yep.
Until you bleed from the ears.
And we're going to have the last word from Stats on this one before we move on to the local. Go ahead, Stats man.
Yeah, and they're going to push your children down the route of irreversible damage too. So you asked for an opinion on all this, and Starmer and Labour. Again, it's make-believe fantasy land. I think J.K. Rowling writes their manifesto. Yeah. It's more empty promises. They never uphold any of these manifesto pledges. So why the hell do you think any of them are going to do it this time?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Just, I don't care who you vote for, anyone but these lot. And we've got to set a precedent now that they're redundant.
Totally agree with us. That's we need to vote Reform UK.
So the vote is that they are actually saying that they're promising a decade of national renewal. That isn't going to happen, correct?
Make believe.
Make believe. Okay. All right. The one thing that isn't make believe is the guy that burst onto the stage at the start of his speech and threw glitter on him has been arrested.
Do you know what though? We laugh and we mock it. It was funny, but what if it wasn't glitter?
Yeah, exactly.
Not very good security there. If people could jump in on the stage all weekend and through
that's
the week,
true.
Getting right up behind him. What's that about?
No,
you try and invade Trump's stage when he's speaking. You don't get anywhere near him.
No,
so sorry, but what the hell is this all about?
True.
What was actually protesting about? Sorry,
no idea.
More make believe, probably pipe dream net zero or something.
Something of that nature.
We're all going to die tomorrow.
Yeah, but you just hit the nail on the head there, Mark. That would never happen at a Trump rally, and it probably wouldn't happen as a Conservative one. So was that allowed to happen?
Well, I have to have security on here to keep you lot at bay.
Yeah, that's right. You got to keep you. What was that you said, Steve? To keep who at bay?
You lot.
Muted.
It was. It looked. I mean, Starmer. Okay, he did look shocked.
He didn't move. He didn't do anything. He
didn't do anything, did he? No, I'm very, very suspicious of any of this.
Yeah,
I really am. How did that person get to that stage with the security? And it took him 15 seconds to get on the stage.
To be fair, isn't Starmer funded by one of the funders of Just Stop Oil?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think in the background they've said, right, we're going to invade your conference.
Yeah.
Unless you just let us come on and do a little quick one. Oh, go on then. Meet in the middle. Yeah.
Well,
everybody loves a quickie.
Telling you, I do.
I love it.
Right, okay. Well, we're moving on now to the local. And the local is all about Cheshire East this evening. and why financial pressure is mounting on Cheshire East Council. Who's got this one? Come on. Who's coming forward to talk about this one?
I can put it straight away. You know, all you've got to do is get Labour in, vote Labour next time, and it will all be sorted. Where are Labour going to get the money from to again, refund all the councils?
Well, they'll do what your council has done, Trevor. They'll just borrow more money to get themselves out of debt.
Borrow more money.
But that's what got them in debt in the first place.
The truth of the matter is, Cheshire East has come under fire from residents this year for raising the council tax by the maximum permitted while cutting back on services at the same time.
Welcome to Warrington.
It's the start of it, isn't it?
Well, you know, what can you say? They're also introducing highly unpopular green bin charges from January next year and consulting on hiking up parking charges whilst reducing library opening hours and closing some services, such as a centre in Knutsford for adults with learning difficulties.
Welcome to Warrington.
What do you mean? Warrington Council and its employees have learning difficulties. That's the truth.
I said in a hustings a while ago, and I said to the Warrington Guardian, will you please put this in your report? I am now officially announcing that I am very concerned over the outsourcing of old age social care workers. Warrington Borough Council were outsourcing it to private companies. Now, if Warrington Borough Council can't make it work, how can a private company make it work with profit for shareholders? So basically, something will give. And guess what? They didn't report it.
Didn't they not?
Warrington Guardian.
Dastardly devils, sir. What can
commonly known by the rest of us that are actually awake as the Red Star.
Will you give way to the Statsman?
I certainly will.
Go ahead, Statsman.
Thank you very much. So Cheshire East are saying they've got a potential budget deficit of 12.8 million.
That's the one by the end of the financial year, despite the savings already made.
Well, the current deficit on its special education needs budget is knocking on 50 million. And that's forecast to rise to a whopping, as was reported, 306.9 million by 2028. So I'm just wondering here, the finance director says it's to do with national issues, of course. You know, inflation and interest rates and demand for services.
War in Israel.
Yet they've borrowed 242 million to improve roads. That's great. And improving connectivity and infrastructure, great. Great for local businesses and investment. Yeah, fantastic. But I really think now we need to get priorities in order. I realise some funding comes from different areas and it's earmarked for different things. But if you're borrowing nearly 300 million to improve roads, I seriously think it's about time to get our priorities in order and start putting the important things first, like children, social care, and the things with massive black holes like special education needs. I think we need a way now of redirecting the money. Stop borrowing hundreds of millions to improve roads. Okay, it's going to be great for businesses, but are these businesses going to be investing back into the things that are missing money? I don't think they are. Well, so on the one hand, he's blaming national things, but they're just borrowing money to improve roads.
Well, Cheshire East's current deficit on its special educational needs a budget is 46.9 million, and that's forecast to rise to a whopping 306.9 million by 2028.
Yeah.
So how are they going to deal with that?
I don't know, but this one of them was a Congleton Link Road. Now, it's won awards. It's meant to be really good, but that cost 90 million. Now, it opened 3 years ago, so I guess they're still paying that off, are they? I reckon now, do you know, I'm all for improving roads, but not to the detriment of important things. So money's got to be shifted around to the priorities. Do you know what's the equivalent of going, oh, look, my driveway's dirty and the kids are starving. I'll go and brush the drive. I know I've just simplified it a lot, but I think the left should ring true with that. They love to simplify things. I just think, well, I'm seeing money being spent in other areas and thinking, really, was that the priority, a road? I know some people in a town might moan about traffic and they've eased it and stuff. But then, as I said before, they're building houses around all these developments. Yeah. So again, where's this money coming back? The things like special education needs and social care are really important.
Yep.
I'm sure we could do without a road, for another 10, 15. All right, about another 300 years until they all stop wasting money. But you know what I mean, though?
300 years. Will you give way to the Gazelle?
I certainly will.
This nimble man who is like holding up his finger to say, please listen to me. Please listen.
Go on then, sir.
Go on.
Like,
all yours.
That's what it is. On about link roads, we built a link road, which was already a road, running right across. We demolished everything in Warrington to run this link road from link road from near the police station right across to where drive time used to be. So we had the existing road, and then we built a bridge. We built a bridge over the Mersey. £1 million for a bridge. Good bridge. It was nice. So we did all that. That was to alleviate all the traffic in Warrington, which I've mentioned before. This is a link road to cut out all the problems of Bridgefoot, etc., etc.
And the Spanish got it.
And then, the Spanish.
Then the LTNs came.
No, and then they decided to build 1,200 houses at the side of it.
Told you that's what they do.
They have built 1,200 houses. They're built now to alleviate the traffic. So you've only got another 2,000 cars on the link
can't
road.
make this up.
Yeah, and all these developers, mate, for the roads and the houses, they're all making loads of money while there's massive black holes. Just saying.
Well, listen to this, Trevor, right?
Crazy.
This is said. He added, and this is one of the councillors there, said, the average council is facing a deficit of 33 million. At least ours is only 26.6 million. And we're bringing it down. Right, Trevor, what's the debt? The debt of Warrington Borough Council.
The last time I looked was 1.8 billion, heading to 2.3 in 2024.
So we can say that Cheshire East is chicken feed.
Yeah, but it could be worse, Trev. It could be 2.5 billion, so at least it's not 2.5 billion, eh?
But,
yeah.
But the council,
on that one.
All right, listen to this. The council are looking to make further savings and increase its income. Measures being considered include a review of
wages.
No, that won't happen. Prices and charges for services to meet rising costs and inflation. Recruitment, with a focus on recruiting for statutory or income-generating roles only. Or council contracts with suppliers and contractors, and how the council accounts for spending on projects and other day-to-day spending, and continued rationalisation of the council's estate. Wow.
Well, what they could do is the same as Cheshire West and Chester Council for improving things for the residents and give themselves all a pay rise.
Listen, that's just a given. We get that sorted out. You know what the score is? Hey. Wow, what a quick show this is proven to be. Raven, you can come back again because we're going to be shortening things. You've got a quick say. Get to the bar because we actually raided your digital wallet last week while you weren't here. You won't find anything in it.
It was slightly emptier than usual. Did any moths fly out of it?
No. In actual fact, they didn't get a chance. The Gazelle, right, chomped on a few of them, and we took the rest of the digital pounds, and we bought ourselves, quite healthily, quite a bit of digital beer. So.
Lovely it was. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. It was good.
Well, I didn't have any. I haven't had a drink for I don't know how long, actually.
About half an hour.
I haven't had a drink for, must be, I'd say, good 6, 7, maybe 8 weeks, something like that.
Get out of here, Mr. Pear-shaped. Get out of here, you liar.
I'm on a massive health kick. You want to see what I'm drinking?
I'm calling you out, you liar.
I have this special thing in the morning. I'll tell you about it, actually. It's meant to be really, really good for you.
So, were you up at the crack of dawn? Is that what it is? That special thing?
I have a tincture every morning of lemon juice, olive oil, and extra virgin olive oil and cayenne pepper. Mix it all up and you just down it in one. It's supposed to be really, really good for your digestive system, your liver, your kidneys, everything. Really, really good.
How come you still don't look any different? But anyway, all right, come on. Shout outs and shout downs. No. Don't want to hear anymore. Shout outs and shout downs. Shut up. Go on, Mark.
He looks older than when I last saw him.
Correct. Go ahead, Mark. Have you got any shout outs and shout downs?
Oh, me. I've got a shout down, and then I've got a little bit of wisdom. My shout down's got to be.
We don't do things like wisdom on this program.
Do. It's a bit of fun. No, I've got to shout down those supporting Hamas and their attacks on civilians in Israel.
Agreed.
Now, obviously, when Israel do something bad, they should be condemned too. But those supporting the Palestinians over there are scum. Just remember, when you say anything that they perceive as pro-Putin, or even if you say you want to end the war, you're an apologist for Putin, aren't they?
Correct.
Well, I'm sorry, but these people are apologists for sicko jihadi terrorists.
Oh, they're just bad news. I agree.
A bit of wisdom anyway. So when someone says alcohol is your enemy, just remind them Jesus said, "Love your enemy."
Good one.
Okay, the Gazelle. Have you got any shout outs or shout downs? Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got a shout out. I've got a big shout out tonight for Sir Keir Starmer.
Stammer.
For finally admitting that reform is the only way forward. He said it in his speech. He was on about the NHS.
So was he actually advocating Richard Tice and the party?
Yeah, I mean, what a guy. I can't get over it.
Do you want me to crop that out for you, Trev?
Yes,
I'll see if I can crop that out.
I've got it on my phone where he says, "Look, the only way for
have you?
We need reform." He was on about the NHS, and he said,
and he was specifically talking about you and your Reform Party, yeah.
Of course he was, yeah. Now that takes a good man to admit that. Now I've got a shout down, which is the Warrington bin men going on strike for 2 weeks and leaving my black bin smelly again in this weather.
And how's your back passage?
My back passage is, well, it's overgrown again at the minute. That's not been trimmed. But my black bin at the front smells like Gandhi's flip-flop. It's terrible. So it's about time that we got it. We get these bin men back to work.
All right, okay. What about the Raven? Yes, we know that you're back. Okay, we're not too happy about it, but go ahead. You got a shout out or a shout down?
Well, yes, I've got both, actually.
I can't wait till we're on video, because when people actually see you on video, they're going to look and they're going to go, Raven? Viking? Exactly.
Busted.
Exactly. Busted.
Excuse me, just because I'm sitting here in my Jim Jam tops, it doesn't matter. Now, first of all, I've got two things to say, actually. Can't have one.
Oh, my God. We had music going at the end when we were actually given our intros and our outros. And now you're back, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm sorry, Gazelle, but you might not have any music to actually say goodnight to. Go on, Raven. Go ahead.
Well, two things. First of all, it's last week, which I missed because I wasn't here. I was very, 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 very busy.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's fantastic to be loved and missed. Anyway,
wait a minute. Who was missed?
You might want to listen to it.
Have a listen to the podcast. You'll see who was missed. Yeah. Okay.
I'll probably turn to drink after it. So last week, on the 5th, it was our anniversary. So mine is to a lovely shout out to my lovely lady, Elaine, and for being married for 38 years. In fact, we've been together just over 40 now. And and she done something very special for me last week.
Oh, yeah.
And
there's always a first time.
So
don't go into details.
Yeah, no detail, please.
Lovely lady. So it was our 38th. So we're planning a very big do in 2 years for our 40th. So that's the first thing. And then the other one is a saying which I came across last week. And I'm sorry, I can't read the name of the person.
You blind bat. Come on.
It's very small writing. Which says, without a moral compass, the human mind will justify anything. And that is true in my view.
It is. And we notice that many a time when you're speaking, without a shadow of a doubt. Okay. Now, my shout down.
Excuse me. I try and sort of lead a proper way through the path of life.
Indeed. I understand what you're saying, but the best plans of mice and men and all of that. Here we go. Right.
Well, as long as we're doing our best, that's all that matters.
The shout down goes to Scottish Power. I have to say, Keith Anderson, nah, I don't like you, sir, and I don't like the policies of Scottish Power. And I'm going to do whatever is needed now to actually change your way of thinking. So there you go, sir. That's a message for you. Keith Anderson, the chief executive of Scottish Power. And this is the same Scottish Power who use a South African call center. The South African call center in South Africa with that unstable government that actually is saying kill the Boer and is killing
Jonathan,
white.
I would echo.
That's killing white farmers over in South Africa. Go ahead, Steve.
That's not good. I will echo your comments regarding Scottish Power 100%, given the way they've been treating my dad for the past 12 months.
Oh, these people.
Appalling.
These people, you know, I can't describe them as anything other than scumbags in the way that they actually deal with the British public. They are just scumbags.
Especially the elderly.
Oh, they just need it. Go ahead, Trevor. Last word on it. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, on about killing the Boer, I think that's well out of order because Keir Starmer did his best. I know it was an hour of nothing, but the point is, you should not be coming out with. I think that's hate speech. That
against the Boer.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't. It's not fair.
Right. Okay. Well, you know what time it is. It's time. There you go. I was going to put that in there, but I thought you were going to say something. But there you go. Okay. Say good night, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, sayonara. Go ahead, Steve.
I'm simply going to say goodbye to everybody. I hope you have a remaining great time during the last part of the week. And have a great weekend, because I'm off to a great weekend this coming week. Heading off to a bit of music down at the old Skegness Butlins.
Skeggy, go ahead, Statsman, say goodbye.
I'll say farewell to all our lovely listeners, and of course, you fine specimens.
Fine specimens of men. He's talking about me and you, Gazelle. I don't know what he's saying about the Raven, but there you go.
Excuse me, I think we will have one of the biggest fan clubs when we go live and people see the Raven.
Yeah.
Go the other way.
Okay, Gazelle, say goodbye, good night, sayonara, auf Wiedersehen.
I will do, because I'm just going to say that I'm going to say goodnight to Ming the Merciless tonight, because I think what's going to happen soon is that I might be going on his side to rejoin the EU because I want to go and live in Greece.
Am I hearing this?
He'll fix it for you.
And I just wanted to say, just for Steve, to show that I missed him.
Bye. Well, there you go. So we all finished. Thank God that is all over. Can anybody hear me whispering?
Got an announcement to make. By Christmas, I may.